So today the 14th of March, and this old Forsythia, which you have seen countless times in full bloom, this was the one which was dug up from the field. It was grown as a hedging plant. I have several of these. You may remember that I did some other ones where I dug it up and split it with an axe. I will deal with those in due course, but I have another one very similar to this, and I will show you how we can use these ugly stumps to make a quite interesting tree. I know I have to carve a lot of this, but sometimes I prefer to let them rot away naturally, and then you'll get a much better effect. So I'm not too bothered about that, because when this is in full bloom, you don't see the blemishes in the middle. So just a few shots here and we'll go inside and show you another similar project. So as you can see, I have a very similar one. I have so many of these, it's almost unbelievable. Because we have a hedge of Forsythia, every time I trim the hedge back, I say to myself, do I want that? You know, it's so cumbersome. I don't need them all, so they're better as bonsai. Forsythia, by the way, root from cuttings ever so easily. So all these shoots, if you just stick in the soil, they make new plants. That's how we produce our hedges. Just stick it in the soil and you will get a new plant in 2 or 3 months' time. So there's a lot of cuttings there. I just stick it into our growing beds and you will get the new plant. Now this one is quite interesting because that stump is nice, but this piece here, it's doing nothing, you know, it's out on a limb. So what will we do with that? So I think it should be a separate tree. So a twin trunk like that doesn't work, and there's bits of dead there. Actually, I'm shaking soil off at the same time. I want to separate the two. I don't want to pull my back because recently I pulled my neck muscles. But very often you don't have to use a lot of force. If you know what you're doing, you can get them out without using force. There's like a lot of these Tai Chi and karate principles. You just direct the force in the right position. There you are. I've separated the root. And we won't have to use much force. I will also just tease away, just have a look. I suppose after doing this, everyone will be digging out their Forsythia plants. Because buried under the surface, you'll get some beautiful stumps and roots. So although I started off with the axe, probably I won't need the axe. I just want to make sure I get sufficient root. I don't want to take too much off without getting root with it. There's a root going down there. The Forsythia, by the way, is such a common plant in Western gardens, but it came from Western China. So like most of the flowering plants in temperate countries, Europe and North America, they all originated from China. And in the 17th and 18th century, A lot of these European plant hunters, British, Belgian, Dutch, they went to China mainly and Japan and discovered all these beautiful ornamental plants, camellias, forsythia, you name it, magnolia, all come from China. So I'm very proud of the Chinese heritage in that way. Although, mind you, I'm not really Chinese. Up. Oh, there's enough root there. There's enough root there. I can grow a nice little plant there. That will become a nice plant. All the right taper, everything. So, nothing ever wasted. Who would ever think that this would, in time, become a nice bonsai? Forsythia wood is very hard. Oh! I may have to saw it. Use the big lopper. I have this big lopper, very useful lopper. These things are not cheap, but they do the job. Levers. So maybe see, you can straight away see the line. So this in time will make a nice little bonsai with a thick, thick trunk over there. And what we do with this, you can see originally it is buried deep in the ground. So whatever is buried deep, we want to reveal because there's some lovely trunk there. There's such a lot of root there, I'm not worried at all. So bonsai is certainly unconventional horticulture. You're not producing carnations and chrysanthemums. That's a completely different ball game. Bonsai is so different. The technology or the techniques are so different. Different because it is artistic. The horticulture side, the propagation and the growth, they're all same as other horticulture. Oh, God. I'm not going to waste too much time. I will show you after cleaning. I'm going to remove all these roots as well, just to show this thick trunk here. Sometimes if the root is too high, we don't need that. Here we are. You must be wondering why I'm donned up like this. It's because I want to grind away some of the wood. I told you that wisteria wood is very hard. It's almost like iron. So let's get rid of that. there we go. We haven't decided which is going to be the front. I think it's quite nice either way. See, even if we turn it this way, this is a very nice front here. That stump is beautiful. So we won't rush to cut bits off because it's going to produce so many shoots in the coming season that we can decide on what to keep as we see the tree develop. So it's got a long journey to go. In fact, I have some more stumps. I'm going to find them and we'll look at all the Forsythia. So you see how beautiful that stump is. That's absolutely beautiful. We will put it in a training pot and then we will show you what it looks like. Okay. So look at that beautiful fibrous root that there is. Beautiful, beautiful fibrous root. And that thick trunk. That trunk must be at least 6-8 inches across the base. There's a centipede coming out. And I'm going to plant it in one of these temporary plastic training pots. So I've teased away the soil. As you can see, this is still the ordinary garden mud. It is just ordinary garden mud. But look at the fibrous root there is. There is a lot of fibrous root. And with that amount of root, you don't have any fears of the tree dying. It will race away. So I will just put it in here. This is one of these round plastic training pots. By no means the final pot. And then let me decide, what shall I do? Shall I use this ordinary garden mud? Or I can put it in proper soil. I think it'll continue growing in mud. A lot of people ask me, what soil are you using? But as you can see, it was in a pot and it was just growing in mud. And after all, plants do grow in mud. So you must be wondering, why do we use special bonsai compost? I think we use special compost. As the trees get mature, you want to control the rate of growth. They slow down if you use soil which drains better, and the pot being small, it needs to drain better. And that's the reason why I think we use better bonsai soil to get the tree performing the way you want it to. So, because I want to generate roots and make this tree survive better, I may use some of my spent soil. Let me get some spent soil. Just stay there, I'll get some. Now this is just soil we've taken out from other old bonsai trees, and as long as there are no signs of disease, no signs of vine weevil or anything in it, I will continue to use old soil. I hate waste. I absolutely hate waste. So where I can, and of course we recycle the soil. Whatever is here, old compost, we put in our compost heap, and then we will use it again after 2 or 3 years. So this is what we call sustainable practice. You know, that's the in word. For years and years people used to waste. There's no need for waste. So let me just prop the tree up at the sort of position I want it to grow. As I said, I could have used the old garden mud, but I think it'll perform better in this spent or old bonsai compost. It's probably a richer soil. Give the chance, for this tree to grow better. Now we'll put it up on the bench and we will show you the potential of this tree. And look at that trunk. Look at that trunk. Isn't it magnificent? Come close and have a look at it. I think when we wash it off, I will jet it off and I will take a close picture with that so you can see the potential. Already it looks nice.
That is good.
Yeah, but I think I still prefer this side. This is going to be really thick like that.
Yeah, nice.
Okay. All right. Let me just show you. If you remember, I can't recollect which episode it was, when I dug out trees from the field. These are some more Forsythia. And these were put in a flower pot. And look at all those shoots that have come out from them. I'm going to plant it again because I know it's growing. There's some roots. I need to get more roots. So this is Forsythia as well. So we're just going to put them back in flower pots. Look at these nice fine roots to grow them on, and see already getting a nice hollow trunk. So this will make a nice bonsai in future. And we have several, but not all of them took. You remember I split the tree into several parts. This is not doing too well. I think this is only partly alive. No, let's throw that away. We don't need that one. Sometimes you are successful, sometimes you're not. Now, fortunately, this big piece is successful, and look at that. I can make a stumpy tree there, let it grow properly. Some of the roots are rotten, but there are some roots which are alive. So the fact that they produce so many new shoots, we just put it in a deep flower pot for now and grow it on. So these are the continuing projects we have with Forsythia. So whenever I dig a hedge out, I take the roots and the stump, and you get this beautiful effect here. So there you go. So here we are. This is that big Forsythia. When I showed this to you just about a week ago, it wasn't in flower, and now on the 22nd of March it is in full bloom. It has been exposed to the frost throughout the winter, and of course in the winter we had temperatures this year as low as -10, so it has survived well. Let me show you another one if you come around. This one was repotted only yesterday, and this was grown in a flower pot, having been dug up from the ground. This was one of the stumps, and look at all that beautiful wood. This is all natural rotting of the wood. No carving with routers or chisels. This is all the natural effect, and I must admit it really looks nice. We've got to refine it still. None of these branches are in the right position. Usually with trees which are as vigorous as this, I cut all the branches off and let new branches grow. So the trunk is the main thing. So that's another example. Forsythia are very easy to make into bonsai. I've got some slightly smaller ones. If you come along here, these are also trees that were dug up from the ground. This is all natural wood. If anyone wants to carve it and refine it, they can do lots of carving and make it into a really cute tree. So there's a lot of scope for improving it. That one is, again, the wood has just rotted naturally. And look at the beautiful driftwood on this one. This is not carved by machine. It is all natural. So this could go in a smaller pot. So this shows you what can be done with the humble Forsythia. I thought I'd show you one final shot. Today is the 30th of March, and Forsythia are in absolutely full bloom, and it's a glorious day. It's a bit of distraction. I thought I'd show this beautiful maple while I'm here. I'm just going to walk around and show you the other two Forsythias, because the blooms get better and better with time, and they have a very long flowering season. In fact, I noticed that these Forsythia first started showing signs of bud around the 4th of March, and it's almost a whole month. It's today the 30th of March, and look at the blooms. They're so dense, absolutely dense. And this is where, when they're in full bloom, you don't notice the blemishes. You know, it was just cut at the top, but you can't see the chops at all when it's in bloom like this. I'm photographing in the sun, so I hope it won't spoil the picture. But that's a glorious tree. And this is a picture of another tree that we dug up from the flower pot, and we just put it in the pot. I haven't refined any of the branches. This will come after flowering. The branches will be cut off, and we will proceed to refine it and make it better. There were 1 or 2 others. I will walk there. I'll walk slowly because it's a lovely day and things are beginning to grow. I know you enjoy these walks, so why not enjoy it? I'll take you to these other 2 old Forsythia. They are also due to be improved, and while I'm walking past, these are the conker trees just coming into bud. And these 2 old Forsythia with the exquisite trunks and bark. When I prune the branches back, I'm going to get much shorter branches, but I'll keep that beautiful trunk. This trunk also is a natural trunk, and I can make something out of that. So these are just experiments. They're not meant to be commercial trees, but we do a lot of experiments because we like trying different things. So this gives us idea for more. And believe you me, I have more Forsythia growing in the field which we dug up. When we dug up a hedge, we saved all the Forsythia stumps. So I hope you've learned something from these shots that we've taken about Forsythia as bonsai. So enjoy.